Hey, y'all know the deal. I couldn't have had a more loaded show now. I got something that I think the people in Arizona are really gonna end up loving. I'm gonna paint a target. I'm gonna paint a target because that's what I do. Um, there's a lot of things that have gone on, over the past like couple weeks. We've had all state teams announced with the Fiesta Bowl. We've had all the national rankings coming out. Shout out to Maxpreps, shout out to Rivals. Our guy Andy over there. Ranking all the top teams in Arizona. I don't know. I honestly don't know if there's 7 teams better than Desert Edge or 5 teams better than Desert Edge. I just want to put that out there. That's a team that's going to go undefeated in the 5A, in a very loaded 5A en route to the playoffs, and then they're probably going to book their seats for Sun Devil Stadium. Just purchase those tickets early for their fan base and stuff. Coach MacArthur got that thing all settled up. But there's we got a lot of tough teams. There's the Bashes, the Liberties, of course, and we're gonna get into some of the national love. And where is it? But before that, I had a bunch of girls hit me up. Chili, you ran through that whole all-state team for boys, and you did not show us a lick of love. So look, man, here you go. Here you ladies go. Because I know you guys work hard for this stuff. So I want to make sure that, I do right by y'all. Fiesta Bowl put out their all-state teams, and I want to make sure that, we kick this thing off right. And I'm going to show some love early on here. These girls, they go absolutely hard, for their product. And, this team is loaded. Defense over here, Marley Phillips from Hamilton, an absolute stud. Campo Verde has got what's it called? Amaya Moreno. This is actually the defense. So we'll go through the defense first. Ariana Manning, Demi Woods from Hamilton. Absolute dogs over here, like if you will. And I love the growth of the sport. Kylie Riggs. I got to see her go a little bit last year because I made it out to a few games. I did my best, tried to make it out to a few games. Cadence from Red Mountain, Asia from Hamilton, Jenny Wilson from Mountain View. I know that my guy Coach Elizondo super excited about working with her. Cameron Malou from Mountain Ridge, Kayla Tacker. That's a name that you hear a lot. Maggie McKeely, and then Mia Johnson. These girls absolutely doing their thing and deserve all the credit in the world for building this product, because these are all the girls that we're going to be talking about 5 and 10 years from now about, how this whole thing got off the ground. These are this is the foundation of it. And so shout out to all the girls that are doing their thing, making sure that they lay down this foundation properly. And shout out to all the coaches that are trying to make sure that this thing is done right, because the hardest part about any of this stuff is making sure that it's launched properly. Up next, if I do the defense, then I definitely got to do the offense. And I already showed the offense some love, so I know I'm going to catch some heat there. Got to make sure that take care of these young ladies. Already talked about Marley Phillips and obviously Chimmy Moreno. Made the move to Campo Verde. Got to see her at my girls' edition of Flight Club. Audrina from Castile, an absolute player. Samaya Taylor Jenkins. I know that she's been putting in a lot of work in the off season, camps and things like that. So want to make sure that she gets her juice. Malaysia Roebuck, my MVP at my girls' edition of Flight Club, an absolute star. Part of that rich Roebuck football family bloodline. Claire McMahon from Campo Verde, Mariah Green, Jetstream Green. I think that's what Kevin McCabe was calling her. Ari Richardson, an absolute blazer. Becky Kearns, I wonder if she's related to Ben Kearns from O'Connor. Corey Roberts and Kinsley McCarty. Kinsey, an absolute stud over there at East Markin. These girls, listen, man, like I said, this is the foundation, and our foundation is absolutely crazy, because I know that if we went nationwide with this thing, our girls would absolutely be throttling teams coast to coast. You line them up, we can make this thing happen. Our girls deserve all the juice possible. So I just wanted to kick off the show that way, show some love there. I do got a special guest, so I got this guy, this national guy that's going to help walk me through some things. The love and the snubs, because with the love always comes, we all want that juice. We all want to be recognized for everything that we've accomplished. Real quick, let me put this old graphic up here. I know everybody wants to say Arizona football belongs at the top of the pecking order. Where does it really belong? Listen, I've been traveling a lot these last few years to see a couple things to make sure that we can kind of get an accurate assessment of where our guys want. Listen, I'm definitely not going to disagree with the top of this list. I've seen a lot of these teams in action. Modern day St. John Bosco, Bishop Gorman, Grayson, St. Francis Academy. These guys can absolutely go. I know we get to the bottom of the list and there's like a lot of questions, but without further ado, I do got a super special guest, none other than the person that kind of put this whole list together. Who would I be if I didn't bring my guy Zack Poff on, who I've seen out and about at a ton of games, nationally esteemed from Maxpreps. Hang out with us for about 5 seconds. My man Zack is gonna back up all the talk. He's and calm down, guys. Calm down. He is going to give Arizona some of its love, some of its juice, everything that it deserves. He's going to make sure to recognize the real. Your boy Chili, we're coming right back with my guy Zack Poff from Maxpreps. About to get hot in here like a Nelly track. We got Zack Poff, Maxpreps national football editor. I have to go straight to the top. Zack, talk to me about this, man. Rankings aren't an exact science. It's very, very difficult. How many games do you get out to nationally yearly?
See, that's the thing, man. I'll maybe go to 5 games a year. This year I'm going to go to more, but that's the thing, man. I got to keep track of, 50 to 100 teams every Friday, Saturday, if there's games on a Saturday. But I'm usually at home. It's like my own high school version of Red Zone, man. I've got 20, 25 tabs open. I'm going from game to game, just kind of tracking live scoring these games on Maxpreps as well. But I'm staying locked into all these games going on, because if I'm going to rank these teams, I want to do it to the best of my ability. So I better know about every single team that's in the rankings, every single team that's a bubble team, and teams I might not be very familiar with. I've got to do my job and research and watch all of these teams, because you don't know anything about games by looking at box scores. You know about games by watching the actual game and seeing exactly what these guys are doing. So that's really what I do, man. So my weekends, I got no life from Thursday to Sunday, man, because I'm really watching as many games possible. If I can't watch them live, I go back and watch them, man. So it's a lot of work, but I think that's why we've put ourselves at the top when it comes to national rankings.
Hey, you know what? I brought up the top 10 of this, the top 10 of this. A lot of these schools here, some of them public-ish. I know there's a lot of private schools on here, but the ones, some of them are public. They play a lot of nationally ranked teams on their schedule, in addition to whatever region games they happen to have to deal with. I know IMG's schedule is all national. I know that Gorman tries to make sure they get as many as they can. Is Arizona punished kind of because and I'm not trying to hate on our AIA, but we are only really allowed to get one out-of-state game, one national game for our power schools. Does that kind of punish Arizona teams when it comes to these national rankings?
It does, to a certain extent, where I feel like, especially over the last 10 years, Arizona football has become one of the top 10 states, I believe, at producing talent. And especially when you look at the size of the state and the quality of football, I think Arizona is one of the more slept on states when it comes to high school football. And yeah, it does hurt, though. You don't get that opportunity to play more than one out-of-state game. You look at a team like Liberty, the back-to-back Open Division state champs. They haven't lost to a team from Arizona, but those 2 losses have come to Corona Centennial. Obviously, Navi Bruzon's senior season, that they probably should have won that game, but a fourth quarter collapse kind of cost them that one. You saw last year with Basha too. They went down to SoCal, played a very good Mission Viejo team. That was a 38-35 loss, so it was a back and forth game. So I look at Arizona. It's one of the not just best West Coast states at football, but it's one of the best nationally. And you see that too year in and year out, where usually at the end of the year, you'll usually see 5-6 teams from Arizona finish the year ranked in the top 100. You'll most likely get one team in the top 25 or kind of right on the cusp. So, especially with Basha and Liberty here the last few years.
Hey, and the reality is you came around, you got some of that Southwest Arizona flavor. You probably came through, grabbed the burrito or something. Shout out to Burrito Express. Because you put Hamilton and Liberty and Basha all in your top 100. I know some people feel like Desert Edge might have been slept on, or a Williamsfield team who might be one of their best Williamsfield teams in a long time.
I think Chandler's going to be a lot better this year too, with Ty Wisdom coming over from, he did a great job in Nebraska. He's got Arizona roots. I think Chandler's going to kind of get back to where they were with him coming in as head coach. I love Jai Jones, one of the best in 2027.
Absolutely. I think he's the best football playing athlete in the state of Arizona. I've been saying that for a long time. So I'm glad that I got somebody to co-sign me publicly on this. Yeah. That brings me to another question. How much does it help, like having all these nationally rated recruits on your team versus a team that might just actually be winning games?
It depends who you beat. Like if you go 12-0, but you don't have those big quality wins, then it's not as important compared to if you have a few losses. So I don't really it's important to have 5- and 4-star guys, Basha with Noah Roberts and Jake Hildebrand. Those are two big time guys to have on your team. It's obviously going to help you with rankings, but I look at more as, team chemistry. You have a lot of guys coming back from last year's team. How good's the quarterback going to be? Those are kind of things I look at when it comes to rankings, where there's teams plenty of times that have a 5-star recruit, maybe a top 5 recruit, that go 4 and 7. So it doesn't really guarantee you're going to be a good football team if you got, 1 5-star guy, but your offensive line's not that good.
All right. So Basha Liberty, I think that those weren't really surprises for anybody, but I think, in trying to figure out the third team to put from Arizona, Desert Edge, Hamilton, like I said, Williamsfield, there's a handful of other teams out there. How is it that Hamilton made the cut for you? Like what was it that stood out? Because Desert Edge has like 273 Division I athletes in their program.
Yeah, see, like that's kind of stuff. They had a good year, but I kind of compared, how they did last year. Hamilton went 10-2, and the two teams they lost to played in the Open Division State Championship game. So they bring a lot of guys back, obviously, too. So I think Hamilton's going to be a really good team this year. I think they're going to have a chance to compete for that Open Division State title. I think, what they got going on over there, it's big time right now. Travis Dixon, so Roy Oliver too, 2028 standout. So they got a lot of ballers too. I think Hamilton's going to be a team to watch in Arizona this year.
Okay, and listen, the highest ranked an Arizona team has been in your ranking system. Most recently was Chandler, I believe, during that pandemic year. Me and Gridiron were trying to figure that out last week. They climbed up to 5. Yeah. The year that I honestly felt like they got robbed, because I felt like that year they could have competed with anybody. They had Keon Grays and Karan Adams and Mikey Keenan, all those guys. But like we said, this isn't an exact science. Like how do you really determine, without putting these guys on the field versus each other, like that a team is number 1?
It's tough. Like it's obviously opinion based for sure. That's a nice thing though. When the season gets going, you see it now more and more, that you see a team from California playing a team from Florida, playing, I won't say Texas. Texas doesn't really like to schedule out of state, but you'll see a lot of these same teams that are ranked in the top 10, top 25. A lot of these teams are playing somebody or playing a common opponent. For example, Liberty the last couple of years played Corona Centennial, who's playing Mater Dei, and playing teams like St. John Bosco. So it's a little different now than it was 10 years ago, where a lot more teams were playing just in-state games. Now you kind of get more common opponents and how teams look. But yeah, it's preseason rankings are tough because, you got to kind of go off last year and who they have coming back and who's kind of developing going into this year, transfers and everything like that. The nice thing is once the season goes, it gets a lot easier to do rankings because you see these teams and you see how they're performing. So, a team like Basha, they play Orange Lutheran on September 5th. They win that game. That's going to be a nice quality win over a team from SoCal in the Trinity League. And then obviously with Liberty, they play at Corner Canyon on that same day on September 5th. That's a huge game. Corner Canyon last year, they beat IMG Academy. They returned a lot of guys. Hellman Kasuga, Texas A&M commit at quarterback. Stud. That dude's an absolute stud. So I tell you what, though, man, if Braden Stevens has a good season this year, Liberty's got all the pieces there. So it'll be interesting to see. But you look at talent coming back, Basha might have the most talent coming back, but it was hard not to give Liberty the edge as the top-ranked team in the state, being the back-to-back Open Division state champs. And it's crazy because you would have thought maybe Chandler would have won 3 straight Open Division titles, but they only won 2. So Liberty has a chance to be the first team to three-peat in Open Division this year.
All right. Hey, so how are you expecting this to shake out for some of these Arizona teams that might be on the national bubble, like the Desert Edges? How do you expect this to shake out for you, in your opinion, in terms of where they end up landing? Let's say they go undefeated, 14-0 season. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I mean, they go undefeated, win a state title, and are 5A, are they competing in open or is it
They're
just
5A.
6A?
No,
So,
it's just 6A.
okay, that's what I thought. Because it used to be they had 5A teams that could go to open, right? They
Yeah.
changed that. Yeah.
Last year was the last year.
That kind of hurts them, you know. So if they would have had a chance to go into open and play, you know, a Basha, a Liberty, a team like that, and win that, that kind of gives them a big edge because you know they'd have a big playoff win against that program. But yeah, if they run the table, win a 5A state title, they'll for sure have a chance to jump in the top 100. I don't know if they'll have the quality of opponents, the strength of schedule to jump into the top 25 nationally, but yeah, top 100 for sure. A possibility. And if they're dominating everybody this year and they outscore the opposition, winning by 45 a night, you know, who knows? You never know.
Hey, you've brought up Chandler and Jai Jones. Besides Desert Edge and Chandler, are what other schools are kind of on your radar in Arizona that you're like, I got to monitor what's going on with this program because I think that if they run the table, if they do something special, this is a team that I got to make sure is top 50, top 25.
Yeah, I feel like Brophy is a team. You know, you talk about talent and top recruits. Brophy's probably got more than any other program in Arizona or right there with anybody else. So Devin Fitzgerald, he's taking leaps each year. I think he's going to have a big senior season. Obviously, Dalen Sharper, absolute stud. You got the Vandenbosch brothers, twins. So that's going to be a team I think that's kind of upset how last season ended. You know, we're a win away from competing in the open division, kind of lackluster performance getting in the 6A playoffs. So I think that's a team that's got a chip on their shoulder this year. I think Brophy's a team that could make some noise and get that open division playoff bracket this year.
All right, my man Zack Poff from Maxpreps hanging out on Chili's two-piece. I got to ask before I let you go, real quick, some quick predictions. I don't really want to put you on the spot, but I have to, otherwise I'm not doing my job.
Hey,
so
we got to have fun, man. We got to have fun. So that's what I do.
Real quick predictions. What are you expecting to see? Let's start at the top. Liberty versus Corner Canyon when Liberty makes that trip to Draper. What do you expect to see? How's this going to end up? Because I think Liberty's going to get like 10 sacks.
I tell you what, man, I'll say this though, Corner Canyon with Coach Care, he's always got a tremendous offensive line. So if they get 10 sacks, that's going to be very impressive. I love Hudson Dunn though, man. This guy's been producing every single year for Liberty. So if they get 10 sacks, they're going to have a good chance to win that game. But I'm sorry, man, I'm going with Utah on this one. I think Corner Canyon is just going to have too much firepower. And I just love Kasuga at quarterback. I think he's going to make enough plays where last year they won a state title and he got hurt after 6 games. So that just shows you the depth that Corner Canyon and Coach Care has done. But that should be a very entertaining game. And that week's loaded with big-time games. Bosco plays St. Francis Academy. There's some other big ones that week. Chaminade Madonna plays American Heritage out in Florida. That Liberty Corner Canyon game is going to be right up there with those on the national level, though.
Kasuga is definitely a stud. I got to watch him do some Elite 11 work, but yeah. I just think that Bernstein, Pat St. John, you brought it up, Hudson Dunn, I think they're going to give him too much chase, and I think that, it's going to be problematic. And Tybell Calloway, I got to show him some love. All right, next one on the docket, we got to talk about Basha. Basha's got a big one. You brought it up versus Orange Lutheran, and I know you like this Orange Lutheran team, but Basha absolutely loaded with all sorts of dogs. Your thoughts over here on this game?
This one I'm going to rock with y'all, man. I think Bash is going to get this one done. Olu's got a talented offensive and defensive line, but they lost a lot of guys at the skill position from last year. Latif's gone at quarterback. He's now at Nebraska. So I think that's a game Basha gets. They want to get that get-back game down in SoCal, man, because last year that was a very competitive game against Mission Viejo, a winnable game for Basha. I think this year, Noah Roberts had a big sophomore year, but I expect even bigger junior season for he's a top-rated recruit in the class of 2027 in Arizona for a reason.
Yeah. All right. And last one, I was going to hit you with the Chandler Cathedral Catholic, but I think we're both on the same side with that one. So I got to hit you with Perry Granite Hills. I am curious what your thoughts are over here. I think that this is a huge matchup quarterback-wise. And, I'm going to lean Perry because I got to lean with the home team. And I actually think that they're the better team. But I have seen that quarterback from Granite Hills absolutely special when I watched him in 7. Zach, what are your thoughts over here on that matchup?
Yeah, he's been playing at a high level since he was a freshman too. So he has Granite Hills in prime position. They've been playing really good football. Last year they came close to to beating Lincoln in the San Diego Open Division playoffs. And Lincoln, obviously, with Achilles Smith Jr., had a bunch of other ballers too. So that's a team I'm going to lean California here. I think they're going to get the job done, but I think it's going to be a competitive game. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm leaning SoCal on this one, man. I think they're going to have enough firepower. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I think that game's a toss-up, though, for sure.
All right. Last thing before I let you go, are there any Arizona teams that you're going to try to catch live? Are you going to try to make the trip down here for any of the big games? Are there any Arizona teams that you're going to catch live?
We're going to try, man, because this year we might be utilizing something new where we kind of have a Maxpreps game of the week and we travel each week to a different state and stuff like that. So definitely want to get Arizona. We'll see which week really pans out. We're kind of still getting the schedule all put together. So, yeah, I'd love to get out to Arizona for a game. There's a few we kind of had our eyes on, but there were bigger games that week, so we kind of had to trend that way. But there'll be, I think we might find a one here in October at some point, maybe even the last week or the first week of November. So we'll see, man. We're going to try and make it out there because I love Arizona football, man. And also I want to give you guys a shout out, man. Arizona is one of the best states when it comes to, putting these players on a platform and covering a lot of these kids. Arizona, you guys do a tremendous job. You, Ralph, Zack, a bunch of other guys too. You guys are great at covering these kids, man. I just want to give you guys a shout out because we see it on the national level. And I know a lot of other, guys that cover high school football feel the same way. So you guys do a tremendous job. Just wanted to give you guys some love, man.
Hey, Zack, I appreciate that. We're about to jump right into my segment with Gridiron Inside the Numbers. But, Zack, you've been absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to catch you out here. And when you come out here, holler at your boy. I got you. Breakfast burritos, you know the deal.
Yeah, let's go, man. Hey, the burritos in Arizona are the best, so I can't wait, man. Thanks for having me on, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, more down the line. We're going to get you on again. We're going to get you on again. When Liberty shocks Corner Canyon, you got to jump on here. You got to jump on here and announce where Liberty is ranked. So, I'll catch you down the line, Zack. I appreciate you so much. All right.
All right. Later, bro.
Sheesh, had to kick this thing off with the one and only Zack Poff. Absolutely crazy, and showed a lot of love, man, for our media teams out here. Ralph, Zack brought a lot of them up.
We have no top 25 teams, but our burritos are number one
in the world, not just the country, though.
Well,
not just the country.
Well, that goes without saying. I'm pretty sure he wasn't comparing it to any other countries.
All right, hey, I got to show some love to my guy over here, Avion Williams, checking in. Which is kind of interesting because based on the situation, I don't know what made him decide to check in today, but the North Carolina commit, the super talented two-way guy, wanted to show some love, and I'm grateful. So, I mean, should we just get right into this now? So, I mean, since Avion checked in, he's obviously hanging out. So,
and then just one last thing on that Granite Hills team from beautiful El Cajon, California, where it'll be like 70 degrees that night. The game is at Perry, where it could be 102.
Yeah.
You can't practice it, right?
I think that.
How do you get ready for that?
You can't get ready for like 105-degree weather on the.
You do
turf.
Camp in Palm Springs. What do you do?
No, there's no way. You can't prepare yourself for that because that game situation is so vastly different than anything that's going to happen at a camp, even if you camp in 110-degree weather. It's just going to be absolutely insane. Once they get on that turf, it's going to heat up. Like it's still going to be hot. When that sun goes down, it does not get cooler like it does in California. Like it stays hot. So, God bless them. God bless them. They took the challenge, and we're gonna make this thing cook for real. All right, but we are gonna get right into this. And shout out to Avion Williams jumping in and checking in with his guys. We're gonna break down Casa Grande first.
Hey, look at that.
Hey, and I look. I like this Casa Grande team a lot. I like what Coach Luna is doing over there, and he's got his OC over there, Coach Bell, and then his DC, who's been with him for a long time, Coach Soto, doing some magical work with these guys. This is going to be a special year for Casa Grande, I think. And I think that they could possibly make a deep playoff run, if things fall in place for them. But, we got to obviously kick this thing off. Shout out to our guy, Avion Williams, who checked in. And super talented athlete, tight end, defensive end, Avion Williams, absolutely special. Quarterback Luke Keaton did his thing last year, but this schedule right here, we kicked this thing off with ALA Gilbert North. And I'm going to let you go inside the numbers on this because I think that this is a big matchup that sets the tone. They go on the road early.
Yeah, at ALA Gilbert North to begin the year. ALA last season 9-4, and they were the number 1 seed in the 5A. They bring back wide receiver Isaac Massey. He had a 1,000-yard receiving season. Now both their QBs did graduate though, so catching them week 1 might be a good time to get them.
Man, that's absolutely. Oh yeah, that could okay. That could work out in Casa Grande's favor. After that, Casa Grande heads back home, friendly confines. They get North and Eli Manzanares and some of those athletes over there. Or there's been some changes over there at North. I don't have any confirmation personally, but disappointing of truth. But it is what it is. At Maricopa after that, which I think is going to be
that's a Thursday game at Maricopa.
And that's going to be a solid matchup, I think. I think that, Maricopa's coming up, and I love what Coach is doing over there. Ironwood Ridge, this is a team that has a lot of dudes over there. And, I do think that Ironwood Ridge could pose some problems, but Ironwood Ridge goes to Casa Grande, so I think that could be helpful. After that, got Central. Man, got Central at home. and then a healthy little road trip at Tucson, then at Marana, last year's number 1 seed for the open division.
And Tucson won a playoff game last year too. Don't overlook them.
Yeah, so I mean that's and I love what Tucson's doing. I love what Coach N's got going on over there. Then home versus Buena. I'm gonna let you go inside the numbers on this matchup. I know you like this one.
Buena 9-3 last year. They beat Casa Grande twice. The scores of those games were 66-42 and 65-28. So clearly they had some trouble stopping the Buena offense. The Colts bring back running back Michael Lujan, 935 yards rushing and 15 TDs last season.
Yeah, I know that both of us kind of like this Buena team last year, but there have been some changes, so we'll see what happens.
Quarterback.
And then Casa Grande gets I think that this is like their rivalry game with Vista Grande.
It's the rebirth of a rivalry. These teams have played. It's against Vista Grande. These teams have not played each other since 2020 because Casa Grande had moved up after that to 5A and Vista Grande remained 4A. And for whatever reason, they didn't put it on the schedule. I know the last time they played, Casa Grande won by a whole bunch, and that might have had something to do with it. But now Vista Grande has moved up. They are in the same. I think they're in. I think they're in the same. That is a region game. They're in the same region, so they obviously had to play each other, and it'll be the first time that they play in a varsity game in 5 years.
Man, okay.
So yes, it will have a rivalry feel to it.
Okay, and then after that, on the road versus Canyon del Oro
should be a big
matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like this schedule for Casa Grande. I guess if I call Casa Grande, then I have to call Vista Grande, and not Vista Grande. So whatever. But yeah, let me show love that way. And look, man, I just love this schedule for Casa Grande, and I think that Keaton and Williams are going to be studs together on offense, and I think that Williams is going to be an absolute dog on defense. After that, running back Cameron Armstrong is going to add a little bit of flavor to that offense. They got a pair of receivers that can absolutely go. One of them being Baby Fat, aka Isaiah Gant, and then an athlete receiver in Dedrick Gully. I know he's coming off injury, but they're expecting some big things out of him. Offensive line, this is the pride of Coach Luna, and they're led by Rogan Hansen. That's one of their captains. Joseph Ebby, and then a 2029 kid probably going to crack that lineup, CJ Stevens, a big fella. And then on that defensive line, they got Eli Adams, another 2029, 6'3", 200. I believe Coach Luna posted some stuff of him. And then a trio of defensive backs that they expect to break out. Jason Smith, a 6'3", 170 corner. James Kelly, a 2028 kid, young guy, on the corner, and then another defensive back, Darius Haygood, a 29 kid. So they got 29 kids that they're expecting to play a lot for them. And then linebacker James Charles, man, kid looks good, 6'2", 210. I think that Casa Grande's got some things that are really going to work out well for them. Gridiron, I'm going to let you go inside the numbers on Casa Grande and this super special team that I think that they've got.
Casa Grande 6-5 last season, made the 5A playoffs, lost to Buena. Cougars have made the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. Their record in those 6 years is 43-22. Head coach Mark Luna in his 4th year there. They are in the 5A Sonoran region, which is a new region for them this year. Quarterback Luke Keaton, the senior, had 2,755 yards passing, 28 TDs last year. That came to an average of 276 yards per game. Had a high game of 465 against Buena in the regular season, 22 for 35 with 4 TD passes. Running back Cameron Armstrong, another senior, 724 yards rushing, 6 TDs, had 200-yard games, plus he had 337 receiving yards and caught 2 touchdowns. He has played 4 varsity sports at Casa Grande, football, basketball, track, and soccer. Not basketball and soccer in the same year, but he's played both of them at the varsity level.
That's some Dion level stuff if he's playing basketball and soccer.
Yeah, that'd be quite a trick there. You got tight end, defensive end, Avion Williams, the senior, had 36 catches, 771 yards, and 11 touchdowns last season. 6'6", 245, also had 4 sacks on defense. North Carolina commit as a tight end. On defense, you got Isaiah Gant, who you mentioned is a receiver. Maybe he's going to fill in and do that this year, but he did not play receiver last year. Junior had 55 tackles, 2 interceptions. And then another guy in the secondary, Dedrick Gully, a senior, 4 interceptions and 3 receiving touchdowns last season. He did play on both sides of the ball. No JV team last year. They are planning to have one this year. The freshman team went 3-6 last season, only scoring 44 total points in the 6 losses. And Casa Grande scored over 40 points on varsity 6 times last year.
Man, like I said, I really like this schedule. I think that this schedule is a little bit favorable to them for what they've got.
That's a tough beginning to region play right there. The Tucson went back to back.
Yeah, but I think if they can get locked in early, I think that they split those. I know because I know you that I'm going to be a little bit more generous here. Team is locked for 7 wins, but I'm gonna go ahead and push it, and I'll take Casa Grande for 8. I'll take 8 Vion Williams and Casa Grande. I think that this team has something special going on, and barring injury, I just think that this team can win, can squeeze an 8th victory that is not in the playoffs, and I think maybe they take 2 or 3 in the playoffs. I like this Casa Grande team. I like what Coach Luna's doing. He has his guys going. I know it's just 7s, but they shocked the world, beat Desert Edge, and I know that
they were real close to making the semifinals. I think that it's close loss to McClintock in the in the bracket.
Yeah, and like I said, I know it's just 7s, but like Coach Luna takes a lot of pride in his trenches, and I think that his trenches are going to be solid over there. Obviously, Avion Williams is going to go both ways. As long as he can hold up and do that, I want to take this team to win 8 games, because I do think that when games come down to the to final plays and things like that, dude, they can always throw that alley-oop to Avion, and I'm willing to bet that just looking at this schedule, and no shade on anybody, because I know that Moreno's got a lot of talented kids, and Tucson's got that super talented Ezra Spivey. And I know that Ironwood Ridge got some dogs. My man Brady over there, absolute problem on that defensive line, and also playing some offensive line. I just think that, when push comes to shove, Avion Williams is going to make the catch that makes a difference in at least 2 games. So go ahead and give.
Feeling that he does a lot of yards after the catch too, with that big 6'6" and 245 size, because he averaged 21 yards per reception last season. And
Yeah.
so that might be, a 6-yard catch and then getting 15 more on your own, shedding a tackle and stuff like that.
Give me Casagrande for 8.
Okay. I think that's a tough stretch right there. Tucson was kind of a young team last year and went on the run. They played with Desert Edge for a half in the second round of the playoffs. They got some guys.
They did.
Marana, yes, Marana loses Dez, but that they were head and shoulders above, the rest of 5A during the regular season. And then that Buena team also. Now they do get Buena at home. It's quite a road trip from Sierra Vista up there to Casagrande. But I'm going 6-4 on this one.
6, like a hater. Dang, Avion gonna come get you.
I
when
know.
I put Avion on the show, he's gonna be like, "Where's Gridiron?"
Yeah.
Like, holy smokes! Dang, Gridiron over here just absolutely killing Casagrande. Okay, but I get it. Listen,
I'm gonna regret that one if they go up and beat ALA Gilbert North in the opener.
I think the reality is that both of us think that they're you think they're capable of winning 7. I think that 7 is more likely the number, but I just wanted to push it to 8 because I just think that there's something special about this team. They have something that's going to come together, and I just think that 8 wins is reality.
Yeah,
where obviously
you have Marana going 9-1 also. So
yeah, so okay. Well, look, Marana's going to be the tough one for them.
I don't know if that was the one on Marana's mark or not.
Look, Marana's going to be tough for them. So I will say that, but look, I think that this team is capable of shocking some teams that are on their schedule, and I think that they're capable of scaring. Oh, the bulletin board material has already surfaced.
I kind of expected that.
8 Williams with the we beating ALA. Hey, just so we're clear, I did not solicit for bulletin board material.
Right.
Oh man. But what's Avion supposed to say? Oh man,
of course not. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I would hope that he says that.
And I think that Coach Detmer and them are going to have their team ready, as they should and will. But Coach Luna's going to be locked in too, and I think that's a heck of a matchup early. I got Avion for a healthy I just think that he should be like 1,000-yard receiver easily this year. In addition to that, might have 10 sacks as long as he just stays healthy and gets his rhythm early. And I know that quarterbacks are obviously rolling out away from him, and they're probably going to double him, and he's going to have to eat through some double teams. But if the young guy gets rolling early, also their 2029 kid that they're super high on, if Eli Adams can get rolling early and create some havoc, and might ease some of the pressure on Avion. Look, this team has some special things going on.
I'm not good enough to account for 29s in my predictions here.
No, look, we all do things a little bit differently, but it's all good. All right, moving on. We're gonna. So you got them for 6 because you're a hater, and then I got them for 8. Because I'm rolling with 8 Williams. So there's that. You're gonna be on their bulleton board for sure, just so you know.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna remind me the night that they win number 8.
That's so true. That is so true. I'm definitely coming for the crown. All right. Up next, we're going to talk about another 5A team, team that we've shown a lot of love to over the years. One of my favorite teams in the state of Arizona, Notre Dame Prep. Their schedule, look, not as graphically fancy, as some of these other schedules that we've seen so far.
You get the info.
Hey, look, it's all business over there. Football, it's all business over there at Notre Dame Prep, and I'm not mad at it. I love what Coach Prelock does, and he's taking this business approach of, hey, look, we're gonna keep this simple. We're not gonna get too fancy with it, and we're gonna let Gridiron and Chili do their thing. So, hey, Coach, I appreciate that. Everything's fully clear on here, and I like that. Jumping right into this thing, August 29th, they get Yuma Catholic at home.
New to the 5A Yuma Catholic.
Yeah. They made the jump too. So this game should be exciting. After that, they're on the road at Sunny Slope, Royce Vanacore. I think that this game is going to be an interesting matchup to say the least. I'm excited to see what Sunny Slope can do. September 12th at home, big matchup. We're all looking forward to it. Desert Edge. Gridiron, I'm going to go ahead and let you jump inside the numbers on this with this Desert Edge team that is so loaded with their 373 Division I athletes in their program. Gridiron, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, the Saints defeated Desert Edge last season, 20-14.
Yeah, they did.
It was early in the season. This year's Scorpion team looks ready to go from week one, so to say. They don't have a bunch of impact transfers that they're going to be waiting on the first 5 weeks. That they're going to be ready from the jump. So this will be a difficult matchup for them, but one that their players have the confidence that they took them last season.
Man, I'm telling you, I just think that this Desert Edge team is going to be a handful. We'll get into that a little bit later. After that, Notre Dame Prep back to Bemis Field. They get Gilbert. Then they're on the road versus Campo Verde with Jake Jones and company.
Campo.
Okay, that might be the game that I go to. After that, again on the road, an extra day to prepare. Versus Horizon, and Coach D definitely has this team looking right. I love what they got going on over there at Horizon. Then they're home versus Chaparral in a battle of Scottsdale. We get to see our guy Coach Carroll with his Chaparral squad, and I know that he can't wait for this matchup. So there's that. And then on the road versus Cactus Shadows, which a lot of us think might be the second best team in 5A or one of the top 5 teams in 5A. And definitely not 5-4-3. So, I'm excited to see that game. I think Donovan Dixon, he's got a lot of friends over there at NDP, and a lot of the guys at NDP are friends with Donovan and stuff like that, and they work out together and things. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Then on the road at AZ College Prep at ACP, new coach over there. Love the quarterbacks and the receivers. I think that Sanchez is an absolute stud over there at ACP, and they got a super talented quarterback, and they got a super talented young quarterback too. Not creating quarterback controversy, but I will say that Baby Zellner is an absolute gem of a quarterback.
That's another 29, isn't it?
It is another 29, and I don't know if he's I don't know like how soon they're trying to get him in games and things like that, but I do know that he's going to be special. Finishing this thing off in another battle of the North, if you will, down the street at home versus Desert Mountain. Desert Mountain fully loaded with a bunch of dudes over there, especially my guy Ryan McDonough, who I think is absolutely special, two-way guy. Coach Hamilton always has his teams well prepared. I can't wait to see how this one shapes up. I'm going to let you go inside the numbers on this matchup with Desert Mountain.
Yeah, Desert Mountain, of course, an open team each of the last 2 seasons. Offense has to do some rebuilding, though, because the quarterback graduated, the top running back graduated, and the top 3 receivers were also seniors. Very senior-laden team last season. But yes, you mentioned McDonough on defense for Desert Mountain, and that'll be the last game of the season for the Saints there.
They got some guys coming up that I think that will make an impact for them. So I think that they should be excited about that. I just think that Desert Mountain, Coach Hamilton always has them healthily competitive at all times. Defense is always pretty disciplined, and So I will say that this is a toughish schedule. I think that Notre Dame Prep has a lot of dudes that are going to make an impact this year.
A lot of games last year too.
I like Coach Prelock bringing in Coach DeGrenier from Mesa, tabbed him as his OC. Defensive coordinator Smith is always at the top of his game, producing a lot of talented linebackers. This thing starts off with athlete linebacker Gunnar Perry and edge Nate Jones. I think that those guys are going to be the cornerstones of that defense. They got some super talented defensive backs over there. One of them being Mason Pavone, who I think has an absolute motor. They got a defensive lineman. I think he's going to end up being an edge for them. Braden Lavinia, very, very different from his brother Dylan Lavinia, who is a corner. But Braden looking like an absolute stud in the weight room right now. Outside linebacker athlete Landon Stick, little brother of Hudson. I think that this kid, high IQ, should be able to make things happen on that defense coming back. Defensive back Decker Smith, absolute dude, and then a pair of wide receivers that I got to get a look at. Jace Wright, Matt Friend, quarterback Luke Jacobs, I believe he's a 2027. Got to watch him work a little bit. Hunter Stein, I think is one of the key pieces to all of this. This is an athlete that can play quarterback, can play some safety, can do a lot of things to make the team better when necessary. Could do some wildcat stuff. But Hunter Stein, an absolute dude. I think that Coach Prelock and Coach DeGrenier are going to find ways to incorporate him offensively into a variety of roles and keep teams guessing where he's going to line up, where he's going to be. And shoot, we might see some 2 quarterback situations on the field. So it should be super interesting. But I do think that they're struggling in the trenches a little bit. Offensive line, not what it's been in the past. But I know that Coach Prelock is going to get clever with this and make this team work and make this team go. I'm going to let you go inside the numbers. Notre Dame prep. Super excited to hear what you have to say.
Yep, Notre Dame 5-6 last season. Started the year at 4-0. Made the 5A playoffs for the 8th straight year, and then they battled Verado in the first round. It was a 17-14 loss. Head coach George Prelock in his 9th year. They are in the 5A Northeast Valley. Quarterback Luke Jacobs, he's a junior. Got 4 starts in last season, 606 yards, 7 TDs. The skill positions are a little inexperienced. You have at running back, no returning back had more than 150 yards on varsity. At wide receiver, no returning receiver had more than 100 yards. So some new skill players to watch. You got running back Mateo Gigana, running back Gunnar Perry, who's a junior, wide receiver Landon Stike, who's a senior. And then on defense, you have Mason Pavone, safety. He's a junior, had 78 tackles, 2 interceptions last season. Defensive end Nathan Jones, he's a junior, 13.5 sacks, 71 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles. And then I mentioned Gunnar Perry a little bit on offense, but he mostly played defense last season at linebacker, had 77 tackles and a sack. Notre Dame last year was 2-0 against non-playoff teams, 3-6 against teams that did make the playoffs. They had wins against Desert Edge, Goldwater, and ALA Gilbert North. It's the same region that they were in last year. The changes are Chaparral is in, Higley and ALAGN are out. And looking at the schedule, they play 5 teams that made the playoffs in their division, plus 2 teams that made the Open in Horizon and Desert Mountain. Their JV defeated Desert Edge, Brophy, and Horizon last season. They had 23 seniors on last year's team, which means they have 38 returners this season.
All right. You brought it up. They were 5-6 last year, right? They were 5-6. Right. And
well, they had a ton of injuries after they started 4-0.
Yes. Yeah. So their quarterback situation got worse and worse as the season progressed.
They had a wildcat in there for a while.
Yeah. And Cooper Perry, superstar offensive weapon, wide receiver, had to go in and play some quarterback, of which he is not. And I think that was where it all kind of went awry.
They were just trying to get the ball in his hands any way they could.
And they did. And I don't want to say it was it was disastrous, because we all know that Cooper Perry is probably better than a 5-5 team. So, it is what it is. But I think Coach Prelock was able to salvage and make the most of the situation in getting Jacob some experience and trying to get things going for next year, because at some point
he played in the 51-48 win over ALA Gilbert North.
Yeah. So, this is going to be tough. I'm going to let you go first, so that way I can figure out if I'm the hater or not. So, Gridiron, I'm going to let you continue to break this thing down and give your prediction on the Notre Dame prep results.
I like the season opener there with Yuma Catholic, because Yuma Catholic has never really had, another, religious high school to be able to have as a rival. For a long time, of course, it was Brophy and St. Mary's, and Notre Dame has played Brophy before. There was a while where Notre Dame was playing St. Mary's every year when they were both down in the 4A. So now you have Notre Dame and Yuma Catholic both in the 5A. for that opener. But then I mentioned all the teams that were in the playoffs last season. This is the strongest region, even with it reshifted a little bit, I think, from top to bottom in this Northeast Valley. I'm going to go 5-5 for Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not gonna. I guess I'm not gonna be the super
because I just
hater
don't
on
know
this
what
one.
they're going to have at running back and receiver, and
Yeah.
kind of like what Zack Poff was saying, how when you're looking at teams, you're looking at what's coming back, and there isn't a lot coming back on the offense.
Okay. The best they can do is 9-1 because they have Desert Edge on their schedule. And I've already said, Desert Edge is one of those teams just like Liberty. If you line up against them, you're losing. Nobody can beat Desert Edge in the state of Arizona in the 5A. So I'm going to put that out there. Desert Edge is an absolute monster. So the best that Notre Dame Prep can do is 9-1. I said the same thing about Mountain Point. The best that Mountain Point could do is 9-1 because they have Desert Edge on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to be fair and consistent. I will be consistent in that at least. So, I do think that, there's going to be some growing pains, but, I think that there's a lot of 2027s on this Notre Dame Prep team. So I think that this team,
especially on the defense.
Yeah. I think that this team is more geared for what's coming. So look, I do see some 50-50 games. I do see some winnable games. Listen, I really love the acquisition of Coach DeGrenier to be the offensive coordinator and
sure,
super creative mind. And I think that Coach Prelock is kind of stepping into more of like a GM role, if you will, and allowing Coach DeGrenier to kind of take control of this offense fully and, not do the over the shoulder coaching or hovering or things like that. So that being said, Coach Smith, on the other hand, I think that, he's super clever in making sure that, his defenses are always on point as best as they can be. Because look, the fact is Notre Dame Prep, obviously a religious school that doesn't have the exact numbers that some of these bigger schools in the 5A have. So,
I guess Catholic would be the smallest 5A schools.
So they're gonna have a lot of kids that go both ways. I already brought up Landon Stick, and I know it's Stick. Because I covered his little brother, so it's Stick. And then I know that, listen, Hunter Stein, however he embraces his role, I think that that's going to be super telling on how successful this team is. And Gunnar Perry, this is the guy that I think that they have to get involved on offense. You kind of brought it up, running back.
He played really well on offense in that Cactus Shadows game that I was at last year. He broke off a big run and everything.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get a chance. Maybe not to be featured as much as his brother was on offense at times throughout Cooper's career. But I do think that Gunnar, 1, is more of a defensive guy, but 2, is good enough to be a factor on offense and create some opportunities for that offense to get into the red zone and create scoring opportunities. So that all being said, Coach Prelock, absolutely amazing coach. And I think that he saw how disastrous injuries got last year. I think that he's well prepared, and I'm going to take this Notre Dame Prep with one of the tougher 5A schedules.
This is one of the toughest schedules that we've looked at.
Yeah, to win, drum roll, 6 games, because I actually think that they can win 7. But I'm just not sure if they can win 8. So I'm going to go with 6, because if they win 7, it's all good, and if they win 5, then I'm gridiron. So I really do like this schedule and how competitive it is. It's going to have them ready for the playoffs. I think that this schedule is going to be tough enough that if they survive it, health wise,
they're not going to have a problem making a 24-team field, even if they go 5-5.
Yeah, and I think that they're gonna steal a game somewhere in the playoffs. So probably gonna be the first round, but whatever.
They almost did last year against Verado, a team that ended up going on a run and making it to the semis.
Shout out to our family over there at Epic Sports Network, Poovy and the crew, Sonia Blade, Ed, the deal. Want to show them love, and they have a super awesome sideline guy. I just can't remember his name off the top of my head all the time, but Parker Garash, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Yes. See, I do. Once you said the name, I remembered the last name. But yeah, man. Okay, so I got Notre Dame prep for 6. You got them for 5. You also had Casa Grande for 6, and I had them for 8.
I was the hater tonight.
Man, man, my guy Gridiron, just your face is on a lot of bulletin boards in the Valley. It really is. Real quick, I do gotta check in with my guy Gridiron and ask all the thoughts going on during this off season. Anything that has surprised you?
Anything that surprised
Yeah,
me?
like any coaching moves that like you were
I
like,
feel
dang,
better
dude.
about the McClintock situation than I did coming into the off season.
Okay, that's something that we have to address. So Gridiron, I looked
at how bad their lower levels were last season, and I knew that all that offensive talent was leaving, and I was just like, oh man, they're in trouble. And we made some of the picks on teams early on that was playing McClintock that I kind of chalked up as easy victories. That now I'm not so sure, especially with all these transfers that have come in and some 29s coming in. I do a little bit on 29s.
Okay, so I have had some requests, mostly from the McClintock fan base. Can we reevaluate and reassess our McClintock projections?
Well, I don't think we did. We didn't do McClintock, did we?
I wasn't sure.
We did not do McClintock. I talked about him in one of their opponents that we did talk about.
Okay.
We have not done.
Then, okay, so we are going to break down McClintock, and it's going to be really weird. It's going to be really weird when we have McClintock like 9-1, and then and Gridiron over here chalked them up to an easy victory for a bunch of schools. So that's gonna be super interesting. Yeah, because what's it called? I had some people from McClintock hit me up saying like, hey man, you guys got to redo our projection because we're way better than.
Yeah, we never officially did McClintock one.
I probably would have had them early on.
We've done 20 of them now. We have not done McClintock. The first one we did was April 1st, so that was our April Fool's edition. Apparently, it was probably a team playing McClintock.
And now you're calling April Fools on that one. Okay, I get it. It's all good. Listen, man, I'm not mad at it. But yeah, hey, listen, you seem surprised at the coach de Grenier taking over the OC.
Yeah, I just wasn't aware of that. I don't keep up with all of the assistants. Going places. Obviously, won a state championship over there at Cactus Shadows. Got Mesa into the playoffs where they hadn't been for a long time. And obviously just a guy that works really well with quarterbacks. With him being
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Not
arena league career for a while.
He played here in Arizona. He played here in Arizona.
Yes.
He played here in Arizona.
He for the Rattlers.
Oh, okay. He didn't play high school here in Arizona.
I don't think so. I don't know where his collegiate background was.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. I just know that he had some playing experience here in the state of Arizona. So shout out to Coach de Grenier. Shout out to his Gotta Believe. I know he's got a girls tournament coming up, so I want to make sure that I show love to that. Any thoughts on any of the things that Zack said earlier on in the show regarding the rankings, the national rankings? Do you feel like Arizona is slept on and punished for whatever? When it comes
I think national rankings are kind of always just a mystery to me because you can't really compare the teams because hardly any of them. You have so many data points that never intersect, if you will. It would be like if you had 600 teams in the 6A, and they all played, 10-game schedules. You'd have a whole bunch of teams that put up pretty good records, but they never played each other. So to me, it's always just kind of, I always kind of take it with a grain of salt. I don't put a lot of faith in the national rankings. It's a little more so now that you get teams that play each other. You have the Liberty Corner Canyon game and Liberty playing Corona Centennial the last couple of years and Arizona teams, as you mentioned, playing one one national opponent each season. And I don't necessarily think that's an AIA thing. I think it's more along the lines of teams having to raise money for traveling, because I don't think the district doesn't pay for that. When Liberty's going to go take a team up to Utah, you got to get a couple buses, depending on how far you're going. I don't know if they spend a night in a hotel room or if they come right back, or if they go up early and spend the night before there. You got to feed them, obviously. And so there's expenses that go along with that. And that's why some teams will only play home games against national teams.
So that's one thing. Is I've been told that there are some school districts that will not allow their teams to travel. They're totally down to have national teams come to them, but they do not want their teams traveling out of state. And then also I've been told by some coaches that the AIA does not want Arizona teams playing multiple out-of-state games. If they can, they'd like one out-of-state game.
Saguaro had a few years where they played two. I remember that. They played one here and one there.
Yeah, they played one here and then one in Utah one year. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember the team from New Jersey came out here one year, and I think they went to California. They played that Honor Bowl for several years down San Diego. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't see too many teams from Arizona with multiple national teams on their schedule.
No, you don't.
So, and Saguaro was the only one I could think of since you brought it up. So
that's just one.
And I think it was twice.
It wasn't a lot.
Twice.
Yeah. Twice that they played two games. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's twice. That
would make sense.
Maybe the year that they played Bergen Catholic, but they played East one year, and then they played. I think they played
opened
California
with
that
two.
Same year.
Yeah, or they opened with two out-of-state games. Yeah.
Yeah, East was here.
East from Utah. Yeah.
Yeah, was here. So, yeah. Listen, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of the mind that I would like to see some of these power programs. Like the Bashes and the Liberties, with an opportunity to get one out-of-state game and then one out-of-state team here. Because look, let's face it, the reality is that a lot of teams don't want to play those schools because in the state of Arizona, because they're
especially with when you would be asking them to play it, you'd be asking them to play it in September, or the first week of September, or the second week of September, or even August. when we talked about the heat's just downright brutal, and I think that's part of why a lot of Arizona teams, even if they're not one of the perennial state contenders, like to go play a game in Southern California to start off the season, because then they avoid one of those 100-degree nights.
No, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of Arizona teams that if they could opt off of Liberty's schedule or opt off of Bash's schedule, they would.
Oh,
they would, because they just don't want to play that game because they're worried about losing by whatever. And
I think they're more concerned with injury. I don't think it's as concerned as getting blown out and losing your confidence. It's when when you get in the trenches and you're playing a team that is a potential top 25 team in the nation, and you're worried about having 3 guys sidelined for your next game, which might be a winnable game.
Yeah, no, hey, listen.
So it's a little different than basketball.
I just want more. I just want more opportunities for competition for some of our bigger schools, and I think that they've earned that right, and they deserve it for the things that they've done for their programs. And I'm not sure if it's an AIA thing or a district thing or whatever thing, but if we can get around all that stuff, I think that would be super dope. I think that Desert Edge should be playing somebody out of state this year, in addition to being a 6A team. Also, I think that they should be. But
that might have there's too many things that are out of the control on that one, because part of that one this year was teams didn't know out of the gate that they weren't going to be doing the open stuff this year at the beginning. Yeah. And then when they did, they kind of shrunk down. There's less games this year between 5A and 6A teams because it wasn't necessary anymore with the 5A out of the open.
Facts.
Before you needed to have more crossover games because you were comparing 6A and 5A teams to potentially, decide between the two, not decide, but the computer decide between the two which team's in. And with that no longer a factor, I think most teams are just playing a 5A schedule.
I think now mostly those crossover games are mostly rivalry games, right? Like they're mostly
there's a few that decide to
alive.
preserve their rivalry. If one was a 5A and one was a 6A, like obviously Chaparral moved down to 5A. There's still a Saguaro Chaparral game this year. I know that Willow Canyon has continued to play Shadow Ridge, even though they're in different conferences.
Is that the rivalry, Willow Canyon and Shadow Ridge? I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, the battle for Surprise.
Oh,
I'm sorry, not Shadow Ridge. Valley Vista, sorry. Valley Vista, Willow Canyon. I got the wrong surprise team there.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me.
It's the Valley Willow game is the one they play for the trophy. Yes.
Oh man, well
the original
Valley...
surprise schools.
Okay. All right, hey, my guy Gridiron, best in the business. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Inside the number segment, Gridiron. I appreciate you hanging out. Next week we got 2 more teams. We got this for what? 3 more weeks. We might. One of them might have to be McClintock. So
it does now.
What do we got? 3 more weeks? 3 more weeks of schedule breakdown? Is that right?
I had to look to make sure that Chaparral still plays Saguaro this year. They do. It's week 2. Okay. So what do we got here? This is next week's the last week of July. So we have that one. We have August 5 and 12. So it's 3 more weeks. And then the 19th, we preview some small school regular season.
Which I know you're always excited about because we never really get to talk about small schools. So I know we're going to be talking about SCA.
That's my week to talk about small schools.
Yeah, it's only 1 week. It's only 1 week. And this is why the girls are coming for you, Gridiron, because even the small schools.
We are not previewing the flag game.
We might have to, so we don't get canceled. So I might be entrusting you to do a smidge of research for 1 week. Anyways, Gridiron,
it depends on if they provide some numbers in Maxpreps from
what I've true.
A lot of those flag teams don't provide numbers in there, and you can't go inside the numbers without numbers. So
if you don't provide numbers, you cannot come for us. There's that. Must have numbers in Maxpreps. And that's not just for the girls. That is also for the boys.
Oh yeah.
Put your stats in there. If you want us to talk about you, like you have to put your stats in there. So
we deliberately dropped games that we were going to talk about because teams didn't have their stats in.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
We got to go inside the numbers, have numbers. So
you're not lying. Speaking of which, inside the number segment with my guy Gridiron, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Gridiron, I appreciate you so much, and I'll catch up with you next week. 2 brand new teams breaking down their schedules and hyping them up. All right.
All right.
Unless you're a hater. Man, we are getting so close to this thing, and I'm excited. Always excited for football season, high school football season. Obviously, college comes with it, and the pros and all that stuff. So, want to show love to everybody that's involved and everybody that's embraced and showed love to me and created opportunity for me. I want to show love to like Henry Brown, GMC, most recently. Helping me with the big man competition at my event Flight Club. Want to show love to ALL.net. Papa Hinios has been absolutely phenomenal. Want to show love to my guys over there at Burrito Express, Angel and family over there, taking care of their guy. Recruit ID, Papa Mesa, been absolutely phenomenal. I know he's doing a lot of content stuff on Twitter and Instagram and stuff for his Recruit ID bracelets. Make sure that you guys, learn a little bit more about it. At least his recruiting platform is super cool and tries to make things easy for the recruiting process. Just tries to have something that will help enhance and facilitate some of the stuff in the recruiting process, so that when coaches come up to you, you can just beam like your info to them with the little wristband. So make sure that you guys support, show love. Also want to show love to my guy Greg Rosenberg, hoops guy. Recently, Flight Club is partnering up with his Southwest basketball camp, and I'm going to bring some of the Flight Club team to help out with that. So we'll be designing the jerseys and showing love to 120 boys basketball players from the state of Arizona. So there's that. Shout out to my guy, Greg Rosenberg. I cannot wait to see how all of that turns out. And I believe it's Coach Vargas providing all the food and stuff like that for the kids over there at the facility. This event goes on at the facility, and I believe it's like the middle of August or something. So I don't know all the info. Hopefully, Greg Rosenberg on Twitter will tag me in something so I can put all that info out there for all our hoopers that do their thing. I wonder if Avion Williams will be there. If he is, I'm definitely gonna have to catch up with him and talk to him about Gridiron's feelings about Casa Grande not beating ALA Gilbert North. I'm kidding. I don't know if that's really how Gridiron feels because he didn't really put that out there, but I think he kind of alluded that game would be problematic. So that being said, your boy Chili, I do want to show some love to one more event going on, and I know everybody's going to get mad. Like, Chili, why do you always show love to the same people? Look, the Carter brothers, were able to find a way to partner up with Will Johnson and do the first annual back to school giveaway. It's a backpack drive. Make sure that you guys donate school supplies. I know that there's a drop off over there at Maryvale. I thought that there was one at Walmart. Apparently there is not. So Maryvale's only drop off location. Make sure that you guys drop stuff off. And then July 30th, Will Johnson and his guy, Walter Nolan, will be at the school 12 to 3 giving away some of the proceeds, some of what's been donated. And your boy, I did say that I was going to hook up a backpack, and I got it right here. I still got it right here. It's still in the packaging. I don't know. Somebody hit me up and asked me if you could donate used backpacks. That I'm not sure about. But I got some new ones here, so I'm gonna make sure that I take those over there to donate and give back. I might not take them over there personally, so I might have to send these out and have somebody else take them over there. But super exciting. Listen, it's easy to do like a lot of cool stuff, put out a lot of content about these kids, get some followers, but actually try to get involved in some of the back to school giveaway stuff. Try to help kids and programs. More than just the follower harvesting content that's created. Like, do what you can. Sometimes there's something a little bit more that can be done. But just try to figure it out. Everybody's different. And that being said, your boy Chili, I'm gonna make my way out of here. I'm gonna say goodbye to my cool Will Johnson graphic. I'm gonna make my way out of here. Your boy Chili at Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Just Chili TV on YouTube and TikTok. And if you guys would subscribe, like, comment, create some conversation, and let's chop it up. Let's talk about all the cool things that are going on in our community. And like I said, if there's this thing going on at North, I'm super disappointed because I'm super disappointed. Once I get some confirmation, then I'll probably add a little bit more context to that. And also shout out to my guy Kevin McCabe, the dean. He is coming back. Doing his show, the Kevin McCabe Show, which I told him they should be calling it in the first place forever. I know everybody wanted to give his show to somebody else, but Kevin McCabe, an absolute treasure in our community, so we got to protect him at all costs, I guess. So shout out to Kevin McCabe and all the cool things that he's doing with his new Kevin McCabe Show on 98.7. Your boy Chili, I'm going to make my way out of here. Forks up forever. Y'all know this.